We're starting off today with Drew McIntyre, as the Scotsman has officially confirmed he will be competing at SummerSlam, putting an end to days of speculation about his travel status. In a video posted on social media, the former WWE champion revealed that Logan Paul personally sent him a private jet to fly him back from the UK, ensuring he wouldn't miss the tag team match against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Concerns first surfaced earlier this week when McIntyre publicly stated he was stuck in the UK due to passport complications after attending a friend's wedding. With SummerSlam looming, backup plans were reportedly being explored, including The Miz offering to step in as Logan Paul's partner. In the video, McIntyre addressed the situation head-on. He pointed out how flooded his phone had been with messages and calls, not from people checking on his well-being, but from those looking to leak news. He admitted the situation wasn't looking good at one point, and then directly called out The Miz for jumping at the chance to replace him, calling it selfish. McIntyre made it clear he wasn't going anywhere. The video then featured Logan Paul, who confirmed he had sent the private jet. McIntyre followed up with a playful jab, claiming that their opponents, Randy Orton and Jelly Roll, were likely behind the travel holdup. But with Logan's help, he made it back just in time. "You're screwed," McIntyre warned, aiming directly at their SummerSlam opponents. With McIntyre officially back on US soil and the match now confirmed, the celebrity-laced tag team match just got even more personal heading into WWE's biggest event of the summer. New details have emerged following the recent multi-car crash involving Vince McMahon, and now one of the victims is speaking out publicly for the first time. The incident took place last Thursday morning with McMahon, driving his 2024 Bentley, rear-ended a 2023 BMW 430 on Route 15 in Westport, Connecticut. The collision pushed both cars into a wooden guardrail in the center median, while debris scattered across the opposite lane and struck a third vehicle, a southbound Ford Fusion. One of the individuals involved, Barbara Doran, took to Facebook to recount the harrowing experience. She said, "Lucky to have survived a horrific car crash on the way up to catch the ferry to Martha's Vineyard last Thursday morning. Both cars totaled. Vince McMahon, former chair of WWE, hit me going 80 to 90 miles per hour as I drove in the right lane of the narrow Merritt Highway built in the 1930s. I and the dog are mostly fine, but was lucky to have kept control of the car more or less as I shot off the road after being catapulted over 100 yards. An unmarked state trooper had been following him as he sped in and out of cars down the highway and had just turned his lights on to pull McMahon over, but he was not in time. Both front wheels of McMahon's Bentley were sheared off and his airbags deployed, probably saving him from significant injury. The trooper told me afterwards that McMahon saw me last minute and swerved, smashing into my left rear, but that if he had hit me full on, there might have been a very difficult ending for me. Amazing that no other cars were hit and that I got out of the car, hands shaking for a good 20 minutes, but otherwise seemingly unscathed, stiff neck later, etc., and full battery of hospital scans and blood work. Time will tell, I'm told." McMahon has been issued a misdemeanor summons for reckless driving and following too closely. He's scheduled to appear in court later next month. While the crash itself is alarming, what's even more unsettling is what's now being said behind the scenes. According to a new report from Fightful Select, it wasn't a one-time lapse in judgment. McMahon's risky driving habits have reportedly been known for years within his inner circle. People who once worked for McMahon, like Jim Cornette, stated that this kind of behavior has been part of his personality for decades, not something brought on by age or recent stress. With both cars destroyed and lives nearly upended, many are now questioning whether this incident should bring harsher consequences. What's your take on McMahon's driving record and the seriousness of this crash? Should he face steeper penalties, especially considering the alleged speed and history? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. WWE's Unreal docuseries has officially dropped on Netflix, and the reaction backstage is just as big as the one online. According to a new report from Fightful Select, several WWE stars were surprised by the level of creative freedom they were given during filming, something that's unusually rare under the company's strict scripting protocols. Unlike typical WWE programming, which is often tightly controlled, Unreal took a looser approach. Talent revealed they weren't handed any lists of banned topics, and they had the flexibility to speak freely, with only mild boundaries around language. "We weren't given anything that we weren't allowed to say, and were pretty well able to talk about what topics we wanted, outside of some general language that we kept away from." Another wrestler shared a lighthearted observation about just how unfiltered things really got. "I realized how much is said backstage from the show." Despite early concerns, WWE executives are said to be happy with how the show turned out. Internally, there's a sense that the unscripted approach worked well, and fans have responded mostly positively to the behind-the-scenes transparency. Triple H, WWE's chief content officer, also spoke about the show during an appearance on ESPN's First Take. He explained that pulling back the curtain wasn't just a marketing tactic, it was a strategic evolution. I think in today's world, with the internet, half the fun for our fans, I think sometimes, is speculating around what's going on behind the scenes anyways, so we decided to let them take a look. He even compared the approach to Formula One's Drive to Survive, saying that giving fans a deeper understanding of the people behind the spectacle creates emotional investment and could help WWE grow its audience in a new way. But not everyone is thrilled with how far the curtain has been pulled back. This brings us to the next wave of internal reaction, and this time, it's coming from the veterans of the business. One voice standing out loud and clear is Bully Ray, who didn't hold back during a recent episode of Busted Open Radio. The former WWE and ECW star openly criticized Unreal, arguing that it strips away too much of what makes professional wrestling special. A couple of veterans that have been around even longer than I have, whose opinions I respect very much, are starting to get quite vocal about the amount of the curtain that are getting pulled back and the quantity of times it gets pulled back. Eventually, we're not going to have anything left, is the concern. He went on to say that wrestling is cyclical, and when the next downturn hits, there may be no mystique left to rebuild. Eventually, this wave will crash because wrestling is a cycle, and then, when we have to start rebuilding again, what do we have to rebuild on if everything's been given away? What do people have to believe in anymore if we know that it's just completely fabricated? You almost have to go back to the beginning. Bully Ray even compared wrestling's secrecy to that of the mafia, saying that there needs to be an industry-wide discussion about what should and shouldn't be shown. There almost needs to be an industry summit of how much of the curtain we are going to pull back and how often we're going to do it, because we have to protect our industry the way the past generations protected it. Even CM Punk has reportedly expressed concern, allegedly saying the show goes against everything I've been taught. And while some in WWE are celebrating the show's success, others inside the company are now questioning whether Unreal might have gone too far. So the debate continues, is this level of transparency good for wrestling's evolution, or is WWE giving away too much of the magic? Let us know where you stand in the comments. Brooke Hogan is in the news again, clarifying why she was absent from WWE's televised tribute shows on July 25th and 28th. According to a post on her Instagram story, Brooke claimed WWE did not extend an invite. Her statement quickly raised eyebrows, especially since her brother Nick Hogan was present at the July 28th Raw tribute in Detroit. The contrast has sparked questions about WWE's communication with the Hogan family. Brooke's message comes just one day after she posted a heartfelt tribute to her father. While she expressed peace over their relationship, her absence has now shifted focus to the behind-the-scenes relationship between her and WWE. As of now, WWE hasn't responded publicly to her claims. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Samoa Joe has officially broken his silence about his current AEW status, and there's more to his absence than fans may have realized. After being stretchered out during AEW Allin Texas, most assumed Joe was simply stepping away to focus on promotional duties for Twisted Metal Season 2. But according to Joe himself, the real reason he's off TV is far more serious. Speaking with WrestleZone, the former ROH World Champion confirmed that he's currently out due to concussion protocol and is taking the matter very seriously. He acknowledged that he's hopeful to be cleared by doctors soon, but made it clear that his health is the priority. Joe also hinted that not everything about his storyline exit sat well with him. Without naming specifics, he mentioned things that maybe shouldn't have gone on, a comment that appears to reference the violent on-screen attack by the Death Riders, which served as the kayfabe reason for writing him off television. Now it's clear that the injury angle was grounded in something real. While there's no confirmed timeline for his return, Joe made it clear that once cleared, he's planning to come back with purpose and likely with unfinished business. His statement puts to rest rumors that his break was purely Hollywood-related and adds a layer of reality to AEW's ongoing storylines. Whether this changes how the company blends real injuries with on-screen storytelling remains to be seen. Do you think AEW should draw a clearer line between fiction and real-life injuries? And are you ready for Samoa Joe's return? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Spoiler warning, if you don't want ROH TV tapings results spoiled, skip ahead 30 seconds now. Just weeks after leaving WWE, Oro Mensah has already resurfaced in the wrestling world. Now going by Oro, the former NXT star appeared at the ROH TV tapings on July 30th in Chicago, where he faced off against NJPW veteran Tomohiro Ishii. Although he lost the match, his quick return has sparked buzz among fans about what's next. At this point, it's unclear if Oro has officially signed with Ring of Honor or was just brought in for a one-off appearance. He had confirmed his WWE departure back in May, thanking fans and reflecting on his 15-year journey in wrestling. Now officially a free agent, Oro isn't wasting time. The spotlight's already back on him, and fans are wondering if ROH might make his return permanent. Should ROH lock in Oro Mensah for the long run? Let us know what you think. AEW is now facing a critical legal showdown that could force the company to publicly reveal its true ownership. A federal judge has issued a strong ultimatum: either disclose who owns AEW's parent company or risk losing control of where the lawsuit plays out. The case centers around a 2023 incident at AEW Dynamite in Detroit, where a fan, Christopher Dispenza, alleges that Jon Moxley violently shoved him during a match with Kenny Omega. Dispenza claims the unscripted moment caused serious neck and shoulder injuries that required cervical fusion surgery. He is suing both Moxley and AEW for assault and gross negligence. AEW moved the case from Michigan State Court to federal court earlier this July, stating jurisdictional grounds and damages exceeding $215,000. But now, their strategy faces a major hurdle. On July 29, 2025, U.S. District Judge Matthew F. Lietman denied AEW's request to keep an affidavit sealed, an affidavit that outlines who owns Beatnik Investments LLC, AEW's parent company. AEW argued that revealing the names could lead to identity theft, AI misuse, and harm to its business dealings. The judge, however, dismissed these claims as unsubstantiated. Judge Lietman stated that there's a strong public interest in keeping court records open and ordered AEW to refile the affidavit without redactions by August 5th. If they fail to comply, the case will be sent back to state court, potentially exposing AEW to a different legal standard and a less favorable environment. Public records already suggest the trusts mentioned in the affidavit are linked to AEW President Tony Khan and his mother Shanna Khan, but unless AEW fully discloses that ownership on record, the federal court won't keep the case. In short, AEW must now choose between protecting its ownership privacy and keeping the case in federal court. The clock is ticking toward the August 5th deadline. Brie Bella has remained one of the most talked about names among fans, hoping for a surprise WWE comeback. Despite stepping away from in-ring action, her legacy as a former Divas champion and part of the Bella Twins continues to fuel speculation about a possible return. But while she hasn't officially retired, there's a very real reason why fans haven't seen her back in the WWE spotlight. During a recent conversation, Brie openly shared all the reasons behind her absence and made it clear that it's not just about waiting for a phone call. She explained that her go-to response in interviews is often a lighthearted joke about waiting on the call, but in reality, it's more complicated. One of the biggest obstacles, she admitted, is her husband Bryan Danielson's involvement with AEW. She acknowledged that this connection makes some in WWE uncomfortable, and while she wishes things were different, she accepts it for what it is. Rather than chase a return or play the victim, Brie seems content with the situation, even if the door remains slightly open. Do you think WWE is being too cautious about her connection to AEW? Should Brie return to WWE, or should the company focus on building its current stars instead? We're kicking off AEW with the main event of AEW Dynamite, as Adam Page defended his AEW World title against Jon Moxley, who was out to try and destroy the champion, although the Cowboy refused to stay down no matter what was thrown at him. Despite everyone being banned from ringside, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, Marina Shafir, and even Darby Allin ended up getting involved, with the latter diving onto the entire field of people. The madness that unfolded set the stage for Page to hit the buckshot lariat, a deadeye, and then another buckshot to seal the victory and retain his title after a brutal match. The two men had fantastic chemistry as usual, and the match ended up being a different style from All In, proving that they have a great ability to change things up and deliver something fresh. It didn't feature tons of blood that people might have expected, but it was still filled with physical strikes, as the pace was well maintained while both men were selling. They each tried to deliver final knockout blows at multiple points in the match, making it a hard-hitting and impactful contest from start to finish, with pile drivers even being thrown in, as they were shown as equals. Ultimately, the interference that happened at the end felt unnecessary, although it did set up a cool spot as Darby Allin hit a dive from the balcony down to the wrestlers below. It was an insanely risky move, but it proved to get a massive pop. However, the stipulation had been clear that there would be no interference, therefore some punishment should be handed out. The only way to honor that would be by firing Shafir as a follow-up angle, which would prove that there are consequences from Tony Khan. It wouldn't be permanent, but it would be a blow to the Death Riders that they would find difficult to deal with and would continue their storyline nicely. But when it comes to the match itself, the right man won, as it was the only possible outcome that AEW could deliver in that moment. Paige can now move on from the Death Riders. This sets up the possibility of a Will Ospreay returning to keep the right rolling on, while Allin can feud the Death Riders, while Paige is now solidified as the true star. Speaking of memorable moments, AEW fans were left stunned as Christian Cage was taken out with a brutal double chair shot to the head on Dynamite this week, creating a sickening visual for fans. Cage has made his comeback to AEW on the show as he spoke about the patriarchy being dismantled as he opted to reintroduce himself to fans as an ass, which fans happily chanted back at him. He trash-talked his former stablemates as he then told Adam Copeland to get off his high horse as he continued to trash-talk Nick and Mama Wayne until they appeared, jumping him from behind. Wayne and Kip Sabian then took things to the extreme as they hit him with a double chair shot to the head, which is sure to write Cage off television for a while. The promo itself could have been trimmed down as he got his point across soon enough without continuing to ramble on. Still, the visual of the matriarchy standing over Christian was effective and came across well, and this could be something AEW continues to use in the future with various video packages. Christian also took shots at some audience members as he told them he was conducting business, while fans wondering where Copeland was had their answers, as Stokely Hathaway revealed he had been banned for the week so FTR could face the Bang Bang Gang. Another shocking moment that took place saw MJF's relationship with the Hurt Syndicate turn sour due to his tastes in gifts for the rest of the group. MJF wanted answers after Bobby Lashley's silent thumbs down last week, but Shelton Benjamin told him that MVP wasn't in the building. However, that didn't stop the veteran from revealing his true thoughts to MJF. He admitted that the watch MJF bought him was the nicest thing he's ever seen from Temu, evidently not being impressed by it. That was followed by the shocking revelation that MJF has been completely kicked out of the group. Although given MJF still has a world title shot in his future, the Hurt Syndicate will be wary of what he's capable of doing down the line. MJF's night wasn't done there though, as he showed up on screen after Mark Briscoe defeated Ricochet to set up a huge match for next week. MJF revealed that next week he's going to face Briscoe in the main event of the show, which is one that might have major title implications, as Adam Page revealed that Briscoe is ahead of MJF in line for a title match. MJF wants a shot at the world title without cashing in his guaranteed contract, therefore he's going to need to beat Briscoe to overtake him in the pecking order. The seeds were planted for that to happen too, as MJF ended up jumping Briscoe and beating him down as he revealed a t-shirt that said MJF did nothing wrong as he looked to make a statement. With MJF no longer having the support of the Hurt Syndicate, do you believe he has what it takes to defeat Briscoe? Let us know in the comments below. AEW fans retreated to an entertaining tag team match this week as Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum fought their hearts out to try and pick up an upset victory over the Young Bucks. Despite their best efforts, that wasn't possible as the Young Bucks got the win with a TK driver, and that was followed by Kazuchika Okada celebrating with them as they attempted to stomp on the Outrunners, only for Swerve Strickland to make the save. The entire segment continued the presentation of the Young Bucks, which has been impressive of late, with this match being as good as the Outrunners encounters with FTR. It showed that Floyd and Magnum can keep up with the best tag teams in the world, while the Young Bucks are still revitalizing their image, with their lack of support pushing them to work in a new way. It made sense for Matt and Nick Jackson to win, as pushing them to the finals of the tournament against FTR makes the most sense, although the defeat didn't hurt the Outrunners at all. The fallout from Marina Shafir's disturbing story about being assaulted by a former male coworker in a gym continues, and now it seems even people in AEW were completely in the dark. According to a new update from Fightful Select, numerous AEW sources were contacted following the release of Shafir's story on Rule Breakers with Saraya. Shockingly, none of them had heard a single thing about the incident before the interview dropped. That alone raises more questions, considering Shafir mentioned the attack happened the same day as her women's ROH title match against Athena, a live show day with plenty of AEW talent present. Yet the person who's allegedly shoved and challenged her still hasn't been identified by name, and those within the company are either unaware or playing it close to the chest. During her interview, Shafir claimed she was blindsided at the gym by someone she recognized from her MMA days. After initially brushing off an awkward treadmill moment, she said things escalated when the man violently shoved her from behind, cutting her gums and taunting her. Shafir said she responded using her MMA instincts, faking a strike, locking him in a front face lock, and throwing him across the room. She later messaged her husband, AEW's Roderick Strong, who was stunned. Ricky Starks reportedly arrived moments after the confrontation and, seeing the aftermath, joked, "Oh you're gonna be fired." Despite the situation, AEW talent sources now say they have no clue who the alleged assailant was, or they're simply not naming names. Whether the man is someone currently employed, formerly affiliated, or just part of Shafir's past remains unclear. What is clear is that the AEW locker room is still asking questions, and this story may not be over yet. Are you surprised no one in AEW seems to know who this guy is? Or do you think they're just keeping a tight lip? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below.